I am going to be giving you the one rule you should stick to no matter what in Rainbow Six Siege. This is the type of golden rule that should always follow you around in every single game. Now, I'm not going to tell you what this rule is until the end of the video. I'll describe it in multiple situations, showing you examples and essentially explaining it. However, I won't explicitly tell you, so you're going to have to work it out for yourself until the end. Comment down below what you think this rule might be before I even tell you. Now, there's a player who wants to improve in Rainbow Six Siege, like many of you do out there. And the fact is that they think they should be in a higher rank, they should be with a 5-stack who knows what they're doing, and they feel entitled to it. They can't really see a difference between them and the other rank, except they want to be there no matter what. And because of this, when they do play in their team, they don't take any responsibility. But instead they shift the weight onto their team because they believe that their teammates are the problem and not them. And well, maybe they are right. Maybe, quite frankly, the teammates need to sort their act out, and they don't really. However, this isn't your typical person who will simply trash talk every single one, and they aren't really any good themselves, and the reality is the teammates are actually performing better than them. However, they still are so entitled that they blame the others. No, this person has put in the work to improve, and they've got to a point where they feel like they can't go any further. Every single game, they will do their best to compete and perform well. However, when something goes the opposite way, they will give the teammates a little bit of constructive criticism. Now, this isn't such a bad thing, as constructive criticism is great, and in reality, the person in this example right now is doing exactly what they should be doing, giving help to the teammates and making sure that they work on themselves. However, they forget to work on themselves and are so attached to the teammates not performing that they get close to it and end up raging and blaming them. Gradually over time, it becomes even worse. And that constructive criticism we talked about turns into the blame game and simply raging over the small things. And the teammates all feel the same way about that one player. And comment down below if you ever had to deal with this player or a type of player like this in Siege, and comment it down below and let me know. It gets to the point where the teammates leave him because they can't put up with his rage and his blame game anymore. And instead of being constructive criticism towards them, it becomes into that blame game. They think to themselves, why did this happen to me? I'm not the problem. The other people are my teammates and everyone else is the problem, and I'm alright. And if you're wondering what that golden rule that you should always stick to no matter what is going to be, it is to always take some of the accountability. No matter what, no matter how that round or the game went, even if you won with flying colours, even if you lost and it was your teammates' fault technically, you can take a lot of the accountability for it. Now, bear in mind, there is a very, very fine line between this. Whatever happens, you don't want to get to the point where you're taking so much accountability, it's putting way too much pressure and stress on yourself, and you just feel like you aren't a good Siege player at all. Which is why it's important to take some and not the whole lot, because it shouldn't knock your confidence at all. Instead, you should use it as a learning curve and something to improve on. If you think right now you have reached your peak in Siege and you can't go any further, you haven't. You need to dig even deeper. Watch your gameplay back, watch the footage back, see what you did wrong. No matter what you say, there is always one thing you could have done differently in that round, whether it would have improved the experience or not. Which is why it's really important at the end of the round to give yourself what you did well and something that you can work on in the future. If you go ahead and try a new strategy and it worked out really quite well, you're happy with yourself, congratulate you and your team, or just give them a little bit of praise on, actually pulling that off, because that is something that you've been working on and it paid off. However, there will most likely be a tweak in that strategy that you can use maybe to do it a little bit more quicker, a little bit more efficient, do this differently next time to counter this. There will definitely be something there. Pick it out and let your team know so that they can work on it. Remember, whatever you do, do not turn it into the blame game. The blame game is where you blame everyone else on your team or any excuse you can think of. Because when you start making excuses and complaining, you have already lost. If you want to improve and make progress, take accountability. But don't do it to the point where you're putting way too much stress and pressure on yourself. Take some of that accountability, bring it back down, spread it onto your team as well, and also recognize that you have done stuff well too. Drop a like if it did help you out, and subscribe because it is free, and you can always unsubscribe at any point. You all better have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.